Alright everybody, this is Steven Butler here. I thought that I would take this time to make a new update video on our Fianna McCool and the Hound of Ulster Kickstarter. And what I'm doing here today is I'm inking an actual page from Fianna McCool and the Hound of Ulster comic book. This is page 11. And I'm in the inking stage, and you can see I've already started. Actually, I've got about 3/4 of this page done already. But I thought that I would go in here and ink some of these figures, so you could actually watch a little bit of the behind-the-scenes process of how these pages are done. We're not really going in sequence. I know this is like the 4th page of this comic that I've done this week, and this is page 11. I think I'm up to page 15, 16 maybe, something like that. But anyway, they're all in different stages of completion and everything, but this one I'm finishing up inking today. That way I can give it to Lily. She can scan it in and work her magic on it digitally. As you can see, I do everything still. I'm old school, and I do everything by hand still on the board. While Lily has, like so many of the other younger artists of this generation, has completely embraced the digital medium, and she works primarily. Not in Photoshop. It's something called Clip Paint Studio, I think. It's what used to be Manga Studio, on her iPad Pro tablet, and just does amazing work, as a lot of you guys have seen so far if you've been following the Kickstarter. That's all her. I'm really proud of her and really excited about the way this thing is turning out. It's just blowing my mind. I'm as surprised about it as anybody else. I'm like her biggest fan. So anyway, this is me just going in and inking these, inking a panel, inking a figure actually. And what's going on, just to tell you, I'm not going to give any spoilers out or anything, but these are some oppressed villagers that are basically put into slave labor. They're being made to haul this bad guy here around, and they're not only hauling him around, they're hauling all of their wives and children around that have been captured by this guy and his evil rat creatures. And so this is a pretty busy panel, because I'm having to. This is called an establishing shot, where we're cutting. The page previous to this was a completely different. Something completely different was happening, and we switched to this scene. And so, in order for the reader to know what's going on, I've got to create an establishing shot, which is basically where you think of each panel as in like a different scene in a movie, and where you would have your camera angled. And an establishing shot would usually be far away, so you could get the most. You could tell the location that you're in. You could see the main players in the story, and you can get a sense of location and where everything's at. Once you've got that established, you don't have to worry so much about backgrounds and things like that afterwards, because you've already drawn them in that first panel. And so here we know that we're in a forest scene on a rocky road, and these are our principal players here: the villagers, the villains, and then the army of villains that are driving these guys on to do what they want them to do. So anyway, that's what I'm working on now, and I just thought that I would share it with you. I don't know if you can see this in the panel, but over here, this is how I do my writing for Fianna McCool. Actually, not so much the writing as the dialogue, what the characters are saying. I've already figured out the story ahead of time. I did these little rough thumbnails. and wrote out the storyline whenever I did that. But as far as exactly what they're saying, I don't really know that until I actually draw the pages. And something about whenever I do that, how they look informs what they're going to be saying, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like the characters then start coming to life, I guess. And it's kind of an unorthodox way of working, but it works for me, and so we'll probably continue on doing it this way for the foreseeable future for the Fianna McCool storyline. So coming up here on the end. Oh, and I'm working with a pen called a Mangaka flexible nib. Kuretake, I think, is the company. Yeah, and this is a fine point, but it's got a lot of snap to it. I like to use this one a lot. You can get a lot of thick and thin lines in here with this. I'm gonna eat just a little bit more so you guys can see it. See a little bit more of the actual work taking place, and this is pretty much what I do every day, guys. Look, I wanted to mention this. I know that we're all going through kind of rough times right now. I wanted to thank everybody that either pledged or shared the Kickstarter with all of your friends, and we are dedicated to or determined and dedicated to making this the best project that we possibly can, and that's why I'm doing these things. I feel like I owe it to you guys for sticking with us, especially through this rough time. You know, we're doing the self-isolating thing just like everybody else. But I mean, I work at home anyway, so it wasn't really that much of a difference from what I normally do anyway. But you know, my heart goes out to all the guys out there that are the essential workers that are having to get out there and continue to work so the rest of us can, you know, have the necessities of life that we need. So hats off to all of you guys that are out there doing all of the work for the rest of us. Really appreciate it, and you guys are the real heroes, to tell you the truth. So anyway, this is pretty much it. I'm going to finish up this leg right here, and I'm going to call it quits for this video. But this won't be the last one that I do. It's just an update, and I will continue to be doing more of these as I finish the book, and so you guys can be in on the completion of it. And so anyway, finish this tail real quick right here. It's going pretty quick, even though it's still going to be a long time before I'm done with this, but I don't really have that time to show you here. I just wanted to give you kind of an idea of what inking these pages look like. And yeah, it's hard for me once I start and get on a roll. It's kind of hard for me to stop, but I promise as soon as I get done with this right here, I will call it quits. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Be on the lookout for future videos. Like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Let them know about Fianna McCool and the cool stuff that we got in store. Have a good one. Thanks a lot, and hang in there. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.